Well, it's the beginning of September. We've officially finished our Keys to Canada trip, and what that trip brought was a lot of RV parks.
A lot. The East Coast, it was all RV parks. I can't tell you how much the desert is screaming our names, and we're ready to head west.
But it's gonna take a while to get there. So what we're gonna do is a little blast from the past. Back in early 2020, during the pandemic, we did 60 days of no hookups in our little tiny Sprinter van. So this is gonna be a little bit different because we're now in a bigger fifth wheel and we have a much larger Battleborn battery lithium system, as well as much more solar on the roof.
So we're done with the RV parks. We said no more, we've had enough, and we're gonna spend 60 days unplugged.
It's 7 o'clock in the morning. Chris is gonna go take the dogs out, and then we're gonna roll up to Pullright. Waited to the very last moment to dump the tanks. Now our fifth wheel has much larger tanks than our van did, but still, we're gonna have to do a little bit of conserving because we're not used to it. And we're just gonna give a little boondocking report. How'd we do, Chris?
We did awesome. We made it 5 days. Our power situation was amazing. And we, on this specific trip, we were bottlenecked by our black tank. So that's pretty much full.
So we're gonna share some of those tips along the way. But back in the van days, we had a 13-gallon black tank. That's now increased to 53 gallons. So big difference there, but still the same principles apply. Dry camping. Yep, that's what we want. Got the black tank flush hose hooked up and got the valve still open. Let her rip. Make sure there's no leaks. Got a little bit of drip there I gotta tighten up. So I'll let that run for, I don't know, 20 minutes while I finish packing up. There we go. So our couple month stretch of being unplugged is gonna start right now, today. We just unplugged from the campsite, and that's gonna be hopefully the last time we plug in for a few months. Now we are gonna be dry camping in a parking lot for a couple days. We're staying at the Pullright facility while we're doing a filming project for those guys. And it's gonna be pretty fun because we're then headed to see family, and we're gonna do a bunch of kind of mooch docking, dry camping. And as long as this weather holds out, you know, it doesn't all of a sudden turn into 100 degrees here in September, which I don't think it will.
But you never know.
You never know. We should be pretty good to not hook up at all. It's gonna be just like the good old days in the van, just us in the wilderness.
I'm really looking forward to it. After we leave visiting friends and family, I'm really excited for after that, so we actually can get out in some of those boondocking areas that we've been before, and hopefully some new ones too, right?
Yeah, because the old ones were van size, so we're gonna need fifth wheel sized ones.
Yeah, exactly.
More tire minder alerts, and I replaced all the batteries, so these should not be coming off, but it's showing two no signals. Maybe pull over as soon as you can up on the right. Okay, passenger front. Tire minder's still there. Trying not to get hit by traffic. So, I don't know, there must be batteries. Cold weather, you know, it's kind of frustrating. I just replaced them all, but they could be bad batteries. It's always just scary when you don't know what's going to happen, and you do not want a tire blowout. Luckily, we've never had one, and we don't ever want to. As we arrived at Pull-Right headquarters in Elkhart, Indiana, we prepared ourselves mentally for our first time being unplugged after spending most of the year on the East Coast in RV parks. We knew it would take a couple days to get into the swing of things, and our 2-day stay here was a good transition. We spent the majority of the time filming a video for Pull-Right's new fifth wheel hitch called the OEX. It turned out to be a really fun time, and we enjoyed trying out a new style of hitch after only knowing the Super Glide automatic slider. Chris also enjoyed towing a different style of trailer than ours. Having an OEM puck system in our Ram made the swap outs really easy, and overall we were pretty impressed with the turning radius we got from the new OEX. I'll link this video in the description below if you want to check it out. Well, good morning from our, I guess, very first day back on the boondocking horse, if you will, where we're waking up in a parking lot. So we're still getting used to power management and dealing with all that. And when you move quite a bit, you don't exactly know where the sun is going to hit your RV and shade and trees and things like that. Well, we made it. We found a beautiful little spot to park. Got the sun shining.
It's a beautiful day today. The birds are chirping.
We gotta start using our brain again now. We gotta think about, okay, where's the sun start? Where's it end? Where's the shade? Where's the trees? Where's the level?
Lots of things that we've mentally shut off since December, right?
Yes. So yesterday we were filming all day with Pull-Right. We really weren't spending any time in the RV. The dogs were inside. For a while we had the windows open in the morning, but then it got pretty hot in the afternoon, around 82 degrees, so we put one air conditioner on around 78 degrees just to keep it cool in here for them. When we came back after dinner with the Pull-Right crew, which was pretty amazing, we were at about 86% battery left last night before we went to bed, which wasn't too bad. So right now around mid-morning, we're getting a decent amount of sun. It's creeping up pretty quickly now that we're getting into late morning, I guess. And you know, 1,000 watts of solar is pretty good, and that's gonna charge up the batteries fairly quickly. But I know Chris is itching to use the induction skillet.
I really like to use my induction for so many reasons. One is keeping the space cool, as Erin mentioned, and that's so important when you're going into a hot day or you're in the middle of a hot day. This propane cooktop really adds the heat. And when you're doing something quick on this induction, like eggs, scrambling eggs is super fast, where it's just a no-brainer. It's worth taking the energy for this to power it to keep the space cool because it prevents extra AC later, right?
Yeah, the way we think about big appliances is how long is it gonna work? So the water heater, we can sometimes run on electric because it's only gonna run for about 45 minutes and then it's gonna shut off. But like the space heater, the fireplace over there, you know, you don't wanna turn that on for 2-3 hours in the morning because that's gonna be a constant draw of about 1,500 watts.
Yeah, and then like the air fryer too. So I love my air fryer, use it all the time. But when we are trying to conserve power, I choose foods and ingredients that have smaller cook times. So like fibrous vegetables like green beans, broccoli, that takes 7 minutes. That's super fast in the air fryer. Things I might tend to shy away from are the longer things like corn on the cob, spaghetti squash. Those are like your 25-minute things. French fries take half an hour. So I try to do less of those items and just keep it to the simple 7-minute cook times.
So as Chris turns on the induction, and this one's not a really high level wattage. You can see on our AC loads it's about 900 watts it's using. and that's probably not quite up on high. I think 1300 watts is the total of that. But now of our sun that's coming in, 1100 watts, you know, not much of that is going into our batteries, 38. Because out of the batteries is coming the power for the induction. It's a fair trade-off, right?
It is, yes.
Quick update on the power situation. It's 1:15 in the afternoon, and actually it got a little cloudy out. So instead of having about 1500 plus watts that we had just a little bit ago, now it's dipping down to only a couple hundred. So you can see our batteries have charged up pretty nicely to 94%, but we're not getting enough right now at all. We're draining out of the batteries a little bit. So Chris is starting her workout. I was gonna flip on the air conditioner because it's starting to get a little warm in here. You can see it's 85 degrees down here, and then I think upstairs it's even a couple degrees warmer. And normally, if you guys have seen, we like to turn on one air conditioner because if we had that 1500 watts of power coming in, the single Coleman Mach Q on low is only 1200 watts of power, so pretty low. Oh, and actually just like that, the sun pops back out. It's kind of like partly cloudy and sunny. Here you can see that 1500 watts of power. So I think we're gonna kick on the one air conditioner in the middle, cool low auto, just to kind of cool it down here a little bit, and that way we're still getting plenty of power. You can kind of see here, watch the AC loads kick on. So that's just the fan at first, and now the compressor is kicking on as well, bumping up, eventually up to around 1200 watts. So we got the nice big windows open, which have been working well, but there's not much of a breeze today, and that's kind of just what we got to deal with. So I can already feel the AC kicking down, so I'm going to close up those windows so Chris can get a little bit of AC. The dogs are going nuts with all the wildlife here. You know, even though we're in a parking lot, it's very much like being out in nature right now.
There's, are those badgers?
We have wild turkeys, groundhogs, squirrels, birds, bunnies.
There's like insects creaking at night, mosquito bites.
Well, we are getting ready to leave, almost all packed up. It was hot last night. It just stayed warm. It was 89 for a high, and it just stayed just warm and muggy, so we really had to run the AC quite a bit. You can see we're at 54% this morning. It's cloudy outside. This is the situation where a DC to DC charger would be pretty good, you know, while driving, but we're gonna see what our 2700 watts of solar does for charging. On the road again. We are so ready to make this 400-mile drive into central Wisconsin and spend some quality time with family. After fueling up at the diesel station and ditching our 4-gallon trash bag, we were ready to battle the Chicago traffic, construction, and the tolls as well. We needed a little downtime after our hectic 5-month, 5,000-mile summer road trip from the Florida Keys all the way up to Newfoundland, Canada. And as soon as we started seeing the oh-so-familiar cornfields of Wisconsin again, we knew we were close to our old home. Luckily, family has a few acres in the middle of nowhere, and it makes for a perfect base camp to visit, work, relax, recharge, and sit unplugged for the next week or so. Well, we just got into my family's in Wisconsin, and it was a pretty long all-day drive, like 8 hours, but it was very cloudy. We went through some rainstorms, and so I was curious how high we were going to get on the electrical system, because remember this morning, 54%. And that's just not enough, so I'm pretty pleased with 94%. Still a little bit of sun coming in. There's clouds out there now, but that was a really good charge up. I was a little worried, and luckily we're gonna have some nice weather for a couple days, hopefully. Welcome home, guys. Yeah, June, come on up. Come on up, girl.
I wonder if the doggies notice our new grippy steps.
I think they like the new steps. They're soft on their feet.
Yeah.
I like them.
It's so cold out.
It is cold out.
It's freezing. Brr.
We're up to 94% juice, so that's pretty good.
Great. We're still charging.
Yep, that's exactly what I just said.
Really?
Yeah.
It's like we're soulmates or something.
Yep. All right, let's finish up and go say hi to the parents.
All right. Ever wonder where the name Irene Iron Travels comes from? It's actually named after my online fitness and nutrition coaching business, Irene Iron Fitness. I help people move better, feel better, and eat better with strength training and real food. No fad diets, no harsh restrictions, no counting calories, and absolutely no processed food in a package. If you want to get stronger and feel better at any age, check the description below for the links with my new client special, or join in on our next and upcoming group challenge.